Hello and good evening from Germany. This is Jonathan Quell Higgins III. I'm streaming live here on Elite Horology, not the Horology Dungeon. Last time we got plenty, and I mixed up the names. I apologize. We are here on Elite Horology, and yeah, it's another beautiful spring evening in Hamburg. We are having beautiful weather, and yeah, I'm having the pleasure to stream live with you guys. CT and Tickers here in the comments. Tickers, I've seen your previous comments. I wasn't aware that you're streaming. I checked with a couple of other shows. I didn't have you on the radar. To be honest, I'm doing that just for fun. So when I see the time, so this is the normal time slot that we had. When I'm in the mood, when I have the time, when the time is right, I'm doing a little stream. People rebel stream me all the time. Not really important to me because I know that everybody can watch the show later. So I can't check with everybody, to be honest. And if I did, that would interfere with my private life to a certain degree that I'm not happy with. Don't be mad. I'm not deliberately rebel streaming against you. Usually, that space or that place here was open, and I was streaming here quite often. So please don't be afraid. If you want to delete or delay, you're welcome to do that. I posted the link in the comments. If you or someone else would like to join me, I'm trying to be brief and quick. And yeah, let's start with some recent auctions. At the moment, not really something spectacular for me happened. So I'm entertaining you with my take and with the results of two auctions that I've been following. Hopefully, you find some pieces as interesting as I do. Now, let's have a look in the comments. I see here T and Tickers. Hello, good evening again. Perry TV is here. Hello, good to see you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Apes is here saying hi, fellas. He's inviting T and Tickers to jump on, and yeah, the invitation is open to Tickers or anyone else. Apes, I've seen that you try to hop on another channel, so you're welcome to come to here, and yeah, maybe it's going to be fun to talk with you. Okay, first topic: only watch auction. That was a disaster. What Christie's presented. So apparently they are suffering a cyber attack at the moment. Christie's main page is still offline, so we can't see in the official results of the Only Watch auction, which has been held by Christie's. So yeah, I have to rely on third-party information. Christie's hasn't fixed that bug yet, and it's going to be interesting when they can do that. Now there is one particular watch that really shocked me, the result of this particular watch, and I'm trying to pull it up. So I was shocked about the result of the Bernhard Lederer dual impulse chronometer. One second. Yeah, the CIC central impulse or dual impulse chronometer. That is also an inverted watch. I assume that this is the bigger version, so we're talking about the 45 millimeters watch. A unique color code, unique color combination, and it went for 45,000 Swiss francs. So somebody really got a good bargain. I don't know if that is an issue with the hacker attack on Christie's webpage. Keep in mind, probably there have been two bidders that were relying on online biddings that didn't have the chance, or if that watch is away from the radar of collectors. I find that very disappointing, to be honest. In 45,000, I would have snapped that in a minute, and I think it's an incredible bargain. All the other watches were in range or above the expectations, I must say. Only the Lederer, in my opinion, really stands out negatively in terms of the results. So, of course, the superstar of the show was the Patek Philippe piece unique in stainless steel. Let's see here. They make it alphabetically, which makes it difficult then to track. So we have been discussing this here, minute repeater, Grand Petite Sonnerie with a beautiful flanqué enamel dial in stainless steel. Like I said before, every time Patek Philippe does something in stainless steel and highly complicated, that is something for the collectors because it's super rare. And yeah, that was no exception. So that went for 15,700 Swiss francs, which is roughly 17 million. So 15.7 million Swiss francs, and which is roughly 17 million US dollars. Roughly half of the last watch that has been auctioned, which was titanium, but that was also celestial, if I remember that correctly. So that watch alone contributed over 50% to the grand total. Other reasonable or interesting lots were, let me scroll it up here. Yeah, it's too bad that I can't reach the Christie's main page, so I have to scroll here, and the organization of this is not really good. I wanted to show you the second hottest item, which was, oh, come on, guys. Where's the Rexhep? And I learned to pronounce it correctly. I think the official pronunciation is Rexepi. That is their chronomètre contemporain, but in total anti-magnetic layout. Piece unique, made only for only watch, went for 2.1 million Swiss francs, 2.3 million US dollars, if you calculate like that. We have here Richard Mille Taliman origin watch that is worn like a necklace, 2.38 million, which is also quite interesting and yeah, quite high in my opinion. Not sure if that is the true watch or if that is just a rendering, which will be discussed with a potential client. Okay, so that is only watch 2024. In total, 28 million US dollars have been raised for the charity. I hope that they will do another 2025. I hope that the bad rumors are being addressed, and that most, if not all, the money goes to charity. That is, it is really admirable that the Swiss watch industry is supplying or providing them with those unique pieces for the auction free of charge. And yeah, they are reaching interesting results. Okay, let's have a look. So we have 7 viewers, sensational numbers. I guess that you're all enjoying the good weather. So let's have a look at the Phillips auction. I was discussing this particular auction earlier on OC's channel. I was not prepared at all when I hopped on. So I may repeat some of the facts. Some of them may be new because after researching, I found some interesting nuggets, I would say. So the star of the show, highest earner, was of course a Patek 2523, which is, why can't I click on that? Maybe because I'm not logged in. One second. Very good preparation. So I'm not logged in and I'm here on Google Chrome, which doesn't automatically take over my login data. So what do I do? I think I'm moving over to Safari in the hope that I'm not doxing myself here. Phillips, second Phillips, just May 2024. And we have it here. I'm going to present mode in a second for you. Log in. Takes time today. Sign in. Okay, password doesn't work. Great. Fantastic. Okay, let's try it again then over the Christie's main page, because I've seen Phillips main page, because I've seen that it's a little bit slow. So maybe I was just a little bit impatient. Yeah, I was impatient. Okay. Takes some time. Server load is high. Okay, let's have a look here. So 25, 23 for everybody who has a remote interest in world timers. That is the iconic reference from Patek Philippe. That is the one with the two crowns. Benjamin Chi doesn't like this design. He calls it the Teletubby look, and he's not a fan of that. I've said it 1,000 times. The lugs of this particular watch are simply gorgeous. Never get tired. But what I can see here on the top lug, it seems that there is some improper welding marks. Not sure if you can see that here. It seems that there is an excess of of soldering material, which looks a little bit weird. Not sure if that is dirt, if it came from the factory, or somebody tried to repair or replace this particular lug. From the conditions of those lugs, they look absolutely perfect, not polished down. We had that discussion quite often. Don't polish your watches, because if you have lugs like that, they will lose their shape if somebody tries to polish or finish them up. So this particular watch went for 1.75 million Swiss francs. The highest earner of this particular watch, that is the Louis Cotier mechanism based on the Patek Philippe manual movement. Here you can see the movement decoration is really nice. Most of it is done by hand. You can see that because here that anglage, for example, is not absolutely perfect. So indicators are strong that that is hand finished. Geneva seal 2523, always a winner on auctions. No matter if you have the guilloche dial, just like in this case, or if you have an enamel dial. I remember that gorgeous lapis lazuli blue dial, or even better, if you have a cloisonné dial, then prices are even higher. So 25, 23, always a winner. So we have here a Daytona John Player, Paul Newman dial, remarkable results, 1.3 million. Not sure about the authenticity. What I recognize is here the patination. So this watch is 18 karat gold, apparently has not been worn for a very long time. And then watches look like that, because it's not fine gold. It is an alloy of 75% gold, and there are other metals alloyed together with that. And yeah, over the time, those other metals they react with the oxygen in the air, and that's what you get. Now you can easily polish that off. It's just the top layer, but it's more honest to keep it like that because for many years nobody has touched this particular watch. Now something that sticks out figuratively is here the crown. Not sure if it doesn't really wind up properly. It also looks like it is a replacement crown. It's very sharp, very good condition. I would guess that this is a replacement crown, and apparently it doesn't properly screw up on the case, which raises some flags, I would say, but it was still going very strong and very high. Okay, then another Rolex we had. So from the top three, we have two Rolex watches that went to the maximum. Here, a very rare Rolex Oyster Perpetual with a cloisonné dial showing a Spanish Caravelle sailboat. Beautiful motif. Those old colors have a special vibe, a special tone, because those colors are not used anymore because of the hazardous ingredients that are used with those old enamel colors. Keep in mind, it's an enamel powder which is then heated up, so all the poisonous vapors then go into the air, pollute the working space of the artisans. So under modern working standards, not really acceptable. The condition of the case is very good. Looks like its original condition. Some minor scratches, but still in pretty good nick, I would say. But what do I know? I leave that to the Rolex specialists. One thing that I found remarkable is that the owner kept the Bucher warranty document, but not the Rolex certificate. That surprises me a little bit because I would assume that the owner would take better care for the Rolex certificate than the Bucher. But here, the owner went a different way. Can we see the buckle? No, we can't see the buckle, but you can see the underside of the enamel dial, which has an odd pattern. I think this is a kind of color or enamel that they put there to protect the upper side of the dial of being cracked. Sign number 29, so apparently lot 29 from this particular artisan. Does it say which artisan it was? No, yeah, it says Marguerite Koch, and the dial has been signed by Stern Frère, which is the Stern brothers, who later or at that time owned Patek Philippe. So we have another guest here, Muhammad Ali, Tuesday Night with Higgins. We are truly living in a golden age of horology. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if that is an indicator for a golden age, but I'm trying to do my best. You guys know that with the new Elite Horology, I'm determined to stream more often than every fortnight. And when I find the time is right, I'm just hopping on at my usual time. Okay, so the fourth watch is a Patek Philippe chronograph in a very unusual shape, television shape. I personally haven't seen that shape before. Particularly, this watch is in stainless steel. I said it before, when Patek makes something in steel, which is then a little bit complicated or more, everybody is going crazy, and so did the high bidder here for this particular watch. We are here at almost 1.2 million Swiss francs for a chronograph, not a monopusher, based on a Lemania 2310, which is also known as the Omega 321 Embauche. of course, here a higher level of decoration. You can see here the round movement being fitted into that square case or tonneau shaped, television shaped, whatever you want. Still, the certificate of authenticity, let's see, yeah, should be a modern one, 2012, limited edition of 16, and apparently they used a movement that has been done in the 1950s. Now, let's see if they're saying anything else. Now I'm getting a little bit curious because at that time they had access to modern Lemanias, so probably they just found a drawer of old ones. But in my opinion, that is the Lemania 2310. Interesting. So, but you can see from the finishing that is really high quality, and probably from a time that was much earlier. So that is an interesting fact. So 1950s movement and original certificate, but the watch has been sold in 2020, 2012. So a second, let me check here. Overflow. Launched in 2011, was an application watch. As such, only Patek Philippe's most prestigious, deserving and loyal clients were granted the honor to own such a piece. So yeah, I'm gonna research a little bit later on this particular watch. Now I'm getting more interested. And Chili Badger joined the comments here. Hello everybody, getting busy with a higgy. Yes, and I hope that you enjoy the show. Thank you very much for being such a loyal viewer. Okay, now the fifth highest watch was a little bit a surprise for me. So you all know that how much I like Recep. In my opinion, he's the coming superstar. He's the current superstar of watchmaking. I prefer his watches over Philippe Dufour just because of that crazy anglage that he's doing, not only on the main bridge. We've been talking about this. Look at the deep anglage that he's doing here on those bridges, beveled anglage, domed anglage, internal angles here. And here you can see here internal angles. What makes his watches really special are the internal angles here on the spokes of the wheels, also on the wheel below and above. So this is really top-notch decorating in a very contemporary style. Now those watches are 38 millimeters, very contemporary sizing, absolutely perfect. The last one in rose gold went around 650,000 Swiss francs. Now this price is almost double of the previous one. So you can see Rexepi really taking off at the collector's market. Keep in mind that is the first generation of the chronomètre contemporain with one mainspring barrel and not the jumping jumping second. Hersey, Dufour is the one true god, says Pirocco. Hello, Swiss. Good to see you. Yes and no. So Dufour certainly has a wider history of watches that he made. And his decoration is top notch. The numbers of watches that he did and is still doing is very low. Rexepi doesn't work actually on those watches. He's working on prototyping. So he has a handful of watchmakers in Geneva who are doing those. However, I find the more modern, his take on watchmaking more modern, more contemporary, and I also know that he made some crazy tourbillons. I know that he's working on very high complicated watches because he certainly doesn't see his future in those chronomètres contemporains. He wants to do more complicated, more complex, and I'm pretty sure we will see a lot. But that is not a disrespect for Philippe Dufour, not at all. I have great respect for him, not only because he recommends Nomas for beginning collectors. He's a fantastic watchmaker and will always have a good place in our hearts. Hello, OC. Good evening.
Speaking of fantastic watchmakers, original OC.
Are you a watchmaker now?
Just looking for some kind of segue.
Did you join the Jonathan Quell Higgins A university just like
right.
somebody else has?
I'm a graduate of the Higgins III School of Horology.
Then you're really in trouble.
I learned all about anglage directly from Professor Higgins.
Well, this is not my shtick. Actually, that was a Swiss shtick even more than mine. Would you agree on that?
I learned about anglage, I learned about tremblage, and I learned about black polish screws.
Guillochage?
Perlage, anything that ends with age.
Okay. Yeah, we are in a golden age, just like like Muhammad Ali says. Everything with age is very good. How are you, my friend?
Doing pretty good. Nice to see you. By the way, I ran into Mike Manjos yesterday in person, which was kind of cool. He was just flying back from Geneva, where he attended all of these auctions on behalf of the 1916 company Watchbox. He's the head buyer for Watchbox, and so he's buying millions of dollars worth of watches every single week. He has his pulse on the market, and his feedback and his impression was very interesting. He said basically there were 3 winners from the Geneva auctions this past week. Number 1, Patek Philippe, unbelievably strong, still the most iconic brand, the most collectible, the most respected. Number 2, FP Journe, the darling of the independent community, continues to overperform and the prices continue to accelerate and appreciate. And the 3rd winner was Recep Recep. So his watches went for well over, I think the only watch went for like $1 million, some stupid number, right? So those 3 brands seem to be, in the eyes and minds of the investment / collector community.
I think you're making a good point, because I was just about to stop you on point 2, where you said FP Journe is the darling of the independent community or enthusiast community. What did you say?
They and I added to that by saying the investment the investment
Exactly.
collector. So they but I mean they are appreciated by people who like watches and appreciate horology, but they happen to be the hype independent brand right now in terms of values.
Yeah. I just had a telephone call with Tanzil 2 hours ago, and we were talking about FP Journe, and we had exactly the same topic. And in my opinion,
he said he was too busy to talk to me. So interesting. Nice.
Yeah. We all have to set our priorities. So now you know your place.
It's like, now I know. It's like, okay, he was busy with you. Okay, I get it.
No. I know that he's busy with very, very important stuff. So he was brief with me as well. So to his defense, but the problem with FP Journe, in my opinion, he has top-notch watch making, no doubt about that. Very innovative design. The problem is that he has become the darling playball of all the investors, of all the monopoly players, and those are overshadowing the true enthusiasts, who very often are not getting access to the pieces because people are just using them as assets. Would you agree on that?
Yes, I would. And I mean, they have become highly desirable. And a big element of their desirability is their appreciated values in the secondary market. I mean, who wants to buy a watch that sells for 50 cents on the dollar? A couple of years after you buy it, you'd much rather spend your money on a watch that is going to be worth a lot more. So, of course, they are the darling, and it's kind of ironic because this independent brand is becoming more corporate every single day. Not corporate in the sense of their corporate structure, but just uh, more corporate oriented in the sense that the collectors view them as financial instruments, not just as timepieces.
Yeah, but there is my beef. So when you see watches from a watchmaker as financial instruments, then it starts crazy. And I would like to disagree with you on your claim when you say it's good when a watch company is desirable and the prices are crazy. We've just seen many other companies really dropping in value, AP, for example. So if somebody would have said that 1.5 years ago, yeah, I only buy watches that have a high resale value at the gray market, he would be screwed if he would look at the value of his watch today. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if you purchased over the last couple of years and you
Yeah.
purchased at the high, sure. But I think people are looking for brands that will appreciate that, and that's happening now with Debatoon. Right, people are looking at Debatoon as the next kind of darling independent brand that you'd be able to buy, and maybe they go up in value. So that's what
Mm.
I mean. Collectors aren't tend to be pretty successful people. They tend to have a lot of disposable income. They don't tend to be rich by accident. They tend to be rich by
Yeah,
making
yeah.
smart by financial decisions. And so there naturally is an element of financial ROI that comes into play when new people come into the space, and haven't been around for decades. But even the people who've been around for decades, I mean, Patek Philippe didn't get to be where it was just on the strength of its horological expertise alone. There is, I mean, they're number one because they're also highly desirable and highly
Yeah,
collectible. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to sell 70,000 pieces. These pieces are super expensive. I mean,
yeah.
just
and
entry level
and
pieces are 50, 60, $70,000.
Yeah, and 70,000 pieces of them every year compared to Lange, who make 5,000. That's a large number. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm a little bit careful with the accident because on your show I said that Cartier and Bulgari are jewelry company who make watches by accident. What I wanted to say is who happen to also make watches, and people were going crazy. Higgins said that those watches are all accidents and everything like that. It was hilarious. Have you seen that?
Listen, they're not a day goes by that you don't say something that's controversial and
Oh
outrageous.
yeah, yeah.
So there.
Did you notice on the last stream I was welcoming people to the horology dungeon?
Was it welcome? I don't care what you do. It's your show.
Yeah, yeah, but those are the bloopers. That happens when you're overly nervous,
Maybe
badly
see
prepared.
you're obsessed with the horology dungeon. That just goes to show.
Actually, I was just thanking the horology dungeon for sending me over viewers, and probably that was still in my head when I was saying the
Yeah.
welcoming line.
There's lots of streams going on today, but I want to give a huge, if it's okay with you, shout out to Tea and
Sure.
Tickers, who's starting a stream in a little bit. If you feel like you want to go check out Tea and Ticker stream, please do so. There's going to be some mega unboxings on the Diego M channel later tonight. There's an 8 p.m. Eastern show scheduled, and there's going to be some too late for you people in Europe, but you'll catch it on the replay. So make sure you go check out the Diego M channel. We're all going to transfer over from the colony and the dungeon and Archie Luxury over to that channel tonight for some big unboxings.
There's going to be some. Yeah, I'm hearing that there is some riveting unboxing happening tonight.
Well, if that's the case, you will be disappointed. I don't know. I mean, if you set your expectations too high, you'll be disappointed. So let's say just to say like, hey,
Okay.
there's some unboxings happening.
Okay, that sounds good. Tim G is in the house.
What's up,
Daughter
Tim?
from Poland is saying hello, and Goldfinger 0808 is also saying hello. Thank you very much for joining Elite Horology. And yeah, we'll see. How was the concert?
Oh, it was good. I was, I went to the Neil Young concert a couple nights ago with my son. It was excellent. He played. His voice was in great shape. His guitar playing is excellent. The band was pretty good. The sound was amazing, and it was good quality time with my son, which was great. And I got to rub it in Tian Ticker's face that I got to go, which is good because Neil Young's one of his bucket list artists. So it was great that the timing was impeccable that I got to go. It was funny because he just mentioned it. We were on a show like on my channel talking about music, and he was talking about going to see David Gilmour. And I said, and he said it would be a dream of mine to go see Neil Young. And just that night in my on my phone, it popped up that Neil Young was playing, the following night. And I'm like, asked my son, "Hey, you want to go see Neil Young?" He's like, "Yeah, I would definitely go see Neil Young." My son is a guitarist. He's like, "So yeah." And then we went, and it was fantastic. It was good times.
Very good. I'm happy that it was enjoyable. Are you having backstage passes or only normal passes when
No,
you go there?
no, not even passes. Just normal seats. I'm with the
Okay,
regular folks. I was
normal
I
seats.
was
Okay.
with normal seats. I was in the front. I was in like the first 20 rows, but they're normal seats that any person can buy. What
Yeah.
about Philippe Dufour? I mean,
Yes.
how did
So
this do?
I wanted to pull up Swiss's Peruka's comment because I had the face to say Rexepi is the coming superstar, and he of course disagreed and said Dufour is the one true god. To poke a little bit fun of Swiss, have a look at the results of your god, which is one third of what Rexepi achieved. So if I would be nasty, I would say, now here go your gods. But of course, the movement finishing here is absolutely fantastic, with not only inwards or internal angles, also outwards. Those horns here, those spiky horns, are a trademark of his. The numbers of inward angles are limited on Philippe Dufour. 1, 2, 3, 4 I can see, and the spokes are not with anglage as far as I can see, compared to Rexepi, who has around 130 in inward angles. So, but I don't want to do any disrespect to Philippe Dufour, because he achieved his place, his position. I'm just a big fan of Rexepi, and I'm happy that he's getting traction. Now, OC, explain
I
me what.
can I jump in
Yeah,
real quick and just say like
yeah, sure.
I don't mean any disrespect to Dufour. I'm sure he's incredible. He's the modern day Breguet or whatever he is. But uh, I mean, when I look at the back of that movement, it's mainly just a bunch of back plates. You know, shouldn't watchmaking and the respect that and the appreciation for the movement be more important than if the guy can polish an edge on a 3/4 backplate that covers the entire movement?
Now you're shitting a little bit on Lange because they are famous for their three-quarter
Yeah, but look
plates.
at this. I mean, this is the entire movement is hidden under this big fucking thing. And okay, so he polished the edges. Whoop de fucking do, and
Mm.
he put it, and and he put a plaque on there.
Yeah,
I
and he
mean,
was
I'm not saying
smoking a pipe while doing that.
I don't see anything incredible here. I mean, maybe it's just me, and I'm looking at the Mona Lisa, and I just don't. I see some ugly lady, but I'm not seeing anything incredible here.
So,
Maybe other
mm.
people do. I just see a couple of back plates.
Yeah, sometimes the simplicity, and that is the name of the watch, is hard to understand for ignorance, just like yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
perhaps.
so, but I understand your point. Um, the counterpoint would be, why does it have to be overly spectacular when he's just showing off on one or two or three examples how great he is, and not firing up a firework? This watch is called Simplicity for a reason, and I think this movement design is really fitting for that. But I can see your point, and I won't argue with it because that is all personal taste. I like both because I can see a very complex and high finishing
Yeah.
on those big simple parts,
And of
and
course,
also
I'm not
on
intentionally
Rexepi.
trying to bait Swiss onto the show to defend Dufour. But
No,
if he
not
wants to
not at
jump,
all.
but if he, not, I would
We
never do that. But if he wants to jump on, feel free. Because I mean, I just see a backplate, and I don't see anything spectacular here. But whatever. I mean, they could call this the Philippe Dufour boredom 003. whatever.
Oh, so here, Peruka miss you keeping Higgy grounded, and Peruka is going ballistic here in the comments. What? OC
No,
needs
he
detention. I'm happy.
he
I'm
polished the edge of a back plate. Whoop de fucking do.
I'm happy that you're taking the piss and not me. So all is
Adding a little,
good.
adding a little spice to the show. I mean, it's this the watch talk can be a
Yeah,
little stale. So
totally, totally,
a different
totally.
opinion. I don't see anything. Honestly, I don't see anything incredible about this. I don't like the screws. I don't like the back plates. I don't like the stripes. I don't like anything. How about that? Pass.
Hmm.
Hard pass for me, dog.
Look, there are enough enthusiasts who are paying 750,000 Swiss francs for one when they order one. That is the current price for a Philippe Dufour de Simplicity in 37 millimeters. Maybe the weak result was due to the fact that this is 34. We had that discussion about the sizing of certain watches, but I know that previous Simplicities in 34 went for way higher. So it seems to me a little bit that Philippe Dufour is losing a little bit of traction. And taking your example, uh, some of the very intelligent, wealthy people may have betted on Philippe Dufour in the past for a good reason, and now are getting eggs in their face because the values are dropping.
Yeah. Okay. That's not about value, but this he only makes a few watches a year, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. So Swiss, can you explain me why this Acrivia with the titanium tourbillon? No, it is a titanium case, and the tourbillon um, is reaching half of the price of a simple chronomètre contemporain. That is what I would like to know from Swiss. Oh, should we give Swiss a wrench? What do you think,
100%.
OC?
I would say yes,
Okay,
but I don't control wrenches on this channel. Let the
okay.
record
One
reflect
second.
that.
I must be careful not to kick him. One second.
If
Do I
it,
need
listen,
to?
if APIZ can have a wrench, Swiss can have a wrench. Put it that way.
That is true. Apes is trying to get a Mont Blanc pen from me. So
So you're
uh,
being super nice. You're buttering him up.
yeah, yeah, totally.
By the way, I would vouch for Goldfinger too. Goldfinger is a cool guy. I know him personally,
Goldfinger,
and of course, Tian Tickers. Tian Tickers, great guy.
is that a Roman Schaff vouch, or is that a true
That's it.
vouch?
No, I've met Goldfinger in person. Very nice guy, a true collector. The guy's a platinum Daytona with diamond baguettes. He's the real deal.
Well, I had met jerks who were wearing
Well,
platinum.
and if I ever get a platinum Daytona, you'll one day you'll meet another jerk.
True that. Okay, Piroka and Goldfinger have a wrench. How about that?
There you go.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Anyone else want a wrench?
I don't want to give them away like candies. So yeah, Chili Badger certainly will not get a wrench because I take the liberty to kick him off when he's
Remember the rule for the wrenches. Don't do anything. If you can if you can have the wrench and not do anything, you're
actually.
gold.
Actually, this channel is different because, contrary to all the other channels, if a moderator, if a wrench kicks someone, I'm backing them up in public. Of course, I may contact them in private and say, "Hey, I disagree with you," but those wrenches are here to help me, and I appreciate that help. So I would never throw one of the moderators under the bus. That is a difference to most of the other channels.
Yeah. Well, I trust these mods. These are good mods.
Very good. Okay, so
For
we
now.
have here an Acrivia, which is also Rekshepi. I have difficulties spelling that name. With a tourbillon movement here, very similar construction, just like the chronomètre contemporain. Also very elaborate finishing, and that only made half of the money.
Did you just say elaborate? Did you just say elaborate finishing?
Yeah,
Oh
isn't
my
it?
god! Are you serious?
Come
Ugh.
on, here. Those beautiful inward angles you won't see anywhere else
Oh,
at the
for
moment.
fuck's sake, you and your angles. I
Those
mean,
are wide and deep. That is beautiful. Have a look
so
at those spokes. Those are hand finished. I've seen the watchmaker hand finishing and put those inward angles on them. I've seen it.
Lord. This is
We have
attractive
Thomas
to you?
Burnett here in the house. What do you think of
Hey,
lot number 77? One of one made by Paul Gerber. Uh, you're bringing me into a pickle because
well, thank
I
God.
didn't receive.
Anything to get us off that ugly Acrivia.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm doing it.
Up at the top, you can choose the lot number if you go all the way on the top. By the way, but
Yeah,
never mind.
I'm almost there. So 77 to 77.
Mm.
Paul Gerber and Annie Weber. I think Annie Weber did the decoration here.
Or as you would say in the United States, Annie Weber.
Yeah, but I think those are.
This is just it's just too much. It's just too much of a
Yeah, yeah.
pattern. It's a very busy pattern on the dial.
So I'm just checking Annie Weber or Annie Weber. No, not mentioned here. So let's have a look at the movement. Beautiful movement, just like always with Paul Gerber. Also hand finished, beautiful straight anglage that is not beveled anglage, and some inward angles. I think that is a very beautiful watch. You may criticize the big bridges again.
It's just like one big ugly plate. It's not really.
Hmm,
I'm not seeing anything great here. It's Paul Gerber, heir to the Gerber baby food fortune, from what I understand.
I don't think so. Are you making this up, or do you have any substance to?
I know I'm just making it up. Just interesting.
the the
What
the yeah.
what is that? The Waterford plaque that's on there, or whatever
Yeah,
that is.
there was a festival apparently in Waterford, and that was the watch that was made for that Waterford Festival of Time in Waterford,
And it
Ireland.
sold for 24,000 Swiss francs.
Yeah, not bad, I would say, for Paul Gerber. So yeah, I like the movement. I'm not a fan of the dial. I can see here a little bit the language of Kari Voutilainen. Not sure if Voutilainen had his play in that dial. I don't like that engraving here. Festival of Time, Festival of Time, Festival of
Nope.
Time, and particularly I don't like that massive plaque, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't like how the 12 is so big. I mean, way bigger than the 9 and the 3 that it looks like it even goes outside of the track that it's sitting on onto like over like to where the guilloche is. If you zoom in to the bottom of the 2, for example, it looks like it's just too big.
So 1 second, I'm dropping the link for Thomas Burnett. Maybe he wants to hop on and illuminate us with his knowledge. He says that he's using a mustache hairspring. Mustache hairspring. Where's the mustache here? Is that the mustache? What do you think? That would be the regulator then.
I don't know. You're the watch expert.
Yeah. So this is the hairspring. I don't see a mustache here, to be honest. I can see something that resembles here of a mustache at the regulator. But anyhow, okay. So I think we discussed that. Thomas, if you want to explain us a little bit, then let us know. Dodger is moaning. Goldfinger and Pirocco, not just wrenches, super wrenches. Yes, I was giving out super wrenches here because OC vouched for Goldfinger. How about that?
By the way, now's a good time to mention that you can like the stream. Click the upvote button, guys. Let's throw some upvotes Jonathan's way for all the hard work and analyzing the Phillips auction.
Thank you very much. Don't hit the downvote button because of OC. I apologize for him in
No,
advance.
I would generate more likes. Come on, I'm a very likable person to a very very small minority of people.
You said that well. At least you never fucked me over, so that is
Never did,
a good
never
thing.
did, never fucked anybody over. By the way,
I never heard somebody who accused you of having done that.
there you go.
So here we have an FP Jaune chronomètre à résonance. What do you think of that?
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. The more I see it, the less I like it. I had the privilege to try it on my wrist, but I'm really getting sick and tired of it.
But I do want to take the opportunity to listen. There was a point in time where I looked. There was a certain FP Journe that someone got, and I called it ugly, and I want to apologize for that. I think when people get a watch as interesting as an FP Journe and they get it at retail, I think that those things should be celebrated. So if I inserted my personal opinion and I said that I didn't like the look of the watch at the time, I want to apologize. It was not mean spirited. I just want, I just, it's just the aesthetic is not for me. That's all. But no one,
So
when people get the watches and they get them, I think it's important to be positive. We should be trying to be positive about it.
so does that mean that you changed your opinion?
No, no, the watches. I still don't like the watch. I'm just saying
The
I
watch is
shouldn't.
still ugly.
Yeah, it's not I mean, I just don't want to I think when people get watches that, we should rally behind them and, uh, just celebrate the moment of getting something that they wanted to get and they got it. And it's hard to get watches like that. So those are things that we should admire someone and their journey and how they got the watch and all that good stuff. But
I think
those watches aren't for none of these watches are for me. And believe me, the only one that even comes close to looking decent to me is it Quantième Perpetual, I think. It's a QP,
mhm.
which is like it's a little bit it's got the two windows for the month and the day of the week, and it's got something on the bottom. It looks kind of symmetrical, like which is more my speed. These things are just way over engineered and just too ornate and not my cup of tea. But you know, I'm just one guy.
I slightly disagree with you a little bit here. I think if you think that that a watch is ugly, there is no problem saying that. I agree with you that when somebody receives a watch, no matter if it costs 100 or 100,000, this should be applauded and celebrated. But personally, I don't think that there is anything wrong saying at one point that it's not your taste.
Well, I know, but you want to be respectful of people's
Oh,
feelings. So,
sorry,
so
sorry.
that's all it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something that explains the resonator effect, and I didn't mute my YouTube. So let's go into the technical details here of this particular watch,
Can you take
because
Dodger's
tech.
comment off the screen just because it's distracting me? Thanks.
One second. Yeah. Okay. So this has two balance wheels, as everybody could see here. One balance wheel, the other one. Those are not physically connected. They are very close, but that has a very good reason. The watch is called chronomètre à résonance because those two balance wheels, they synchronize each other. So when one of those balance wheels is not really 100% intact, running precisely, the other one levels it out. That is the so-called resonance effect. And I tried to find a striking example of the resonance effect. But of course, now YouTube is fighting with me a little bit.
But each of those controls one half of the like one of the two dials on the other side, or they don't.
There are two second hands, but at the end of the day, there is one second. Let me let me show you. No, there are two displays of time that you can see here, and you can synchronize the two second hands with this crown. So it in theory, or no, in practice, those second are after a certain period of time, they are synchronizing each other, so they are the same. They are going with the same rate.
But you can't set these to two different times. They're set
I
to the
think you
same
can.
time. Okay,
I
if you
think you
can,
can because
that's
the
okay.
seconds count.
Gotcha. So if you could set this to two different times, I get it. If this is showing the same time on two dials, that's lame. That makes no
Well,
sense.
everything that really counts are the seconds, which is nice to see when they're 100% synchronized without being physically connected. Now I'm trying to show you the synchronized effect here with that YouTube video. So Here you can see two metronomes that are swinging in the same takt, and one that has been just started. And you can see after a certain amount of time, those all synchronize each other.
How? How's that possible?
It is an effect, it is a physical effect. I can't explain you how, but it happens.
Is it because they're all sitting on the same base plate? So, in other words, the movement helps calibrate all of them equally?
I think if the base plate would be fixed, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, but
So the
so it's
yeah
moving. So, in other words,
yeah you can
it
see that
synchronizes
that
them.
here it's on Coca-Cola cans,
Yeah.
and that is one of the main uh, factors that helps with the synchronization. So F. Pigeon is using this phenomenon to make more precise watches, at least in theory. We had that discussion that everything that is about precision on those high-end movements is nice to have, is fantastic to observe, but practically a simple quartz watch is still more precise than those high-end watchmaking watches.
By the way, Goldfinger once is flexing his credentials in the chat. He says that he's in the process of getting 3 watches, all of which OC will definitely hate. And the 3 that he has identified are the Grunfeld, I said that in German, Grunfeld chronograph, the Remy Cools, and Simon Brett. So I told you he was a mega collector,
I know,
Goldfinger.
and I think he mentioned Simon Brett and Grönefeld. I didn't know about Remy Coles, but everything's okay. 30 Danny is here in the house, and Rodent Mutation is explaining the Paul Gerber watch, lot number 77, with the mustache, hairspring. Now let's have a look at number 77 if we find the mustache here.
The weights on the side.
So I think he's talking here about that recessed level that looks a little bit like a mustache, particularly with that here.
Oh yeah, there's 2 of
Yeah,
them. There's one on the
yep,
opposite side too. Yeah,
exactly. Do you know
got it.
why that is recessed and not sticking out?
No, please tell me.
It is the resistance in air. Movement makers are tending to do that because they discovered that even those turbulences in air with those balance wheels are significant. So you try to optimize the shape to get the maximum of precision.
Incredible,
Incredible knowledge that you're
incredible
getting here,
stuff.
isn't it? Okay. So let's have a look at some other lots. Okay, so I was pulling up that chronomet resonance by F. Pigeon here. That is that one here. Subscription. My tongue is very lazy today. So this is a platinum watch, pre-subscription time from 2000. Now, to me, a visually more attractive FP Jaune went for less money. Have a look at that one here. That is also platinum, and that is part of the black label.
Yeah, that's much nicer looking. It's the color scheme just makes it
Yep.
far more attractive.
Yeah. So the only reason why this went only roughly half of the other one is this is a second generation chronomètre à résonance, and the first generation apparently is higher in demand with the collectors. I think also the movement was not gold back then.
The
Let's have
movement
a
was
look.
brass back then, and
Yeah, yeah.
the ones that are highly desirable have the
Ah, the
original
brass.
brass
Yeah,
movements. I
the
don't know
brass
why, but
razoo. Yeah.
that's what they
So that
want.
is certainly not gold. Yeah, good point. So that is nickel-plated brass. The other one is gold.
Yeah. The only reason why I know
Amazingly,
that is because I have some collector friends who
you have friends in high places.
Yeah, like Cars and Chrono. When he was looking for his Jorn to get,
Ah, yeah.
they recommended one of the originals, with the brass movements. Those are the most collectible.
And he bothered to explain you in the hope that you would
I
understand that?
actually, I actually absorb information, Jonathan. I actually, in my 7 months in the hobby, I've managed to absorb quite a bit of watch knowledge.
Very good. So you're like the blonde girl that is suddenly becoming a car expert because her boyfriend is into cars.
Hey, are you calling me attractive? Like the blonde girls like the blonde girls to which you subscribe on YouTube, Super Car Blondie or whomever.
Mr. GMT is criticizing that we are too slow. Okay, let's speed up.
Yeah,
So,
Mr. GMT wants to jump on the show. Anybody wants to jump on? Feel free. Yeah,
yeah,
join the
sure.
fun.
The drop is linked. The link is dropped. 1 second.
Oh, Conjar dial. Oh, so
Okay, you don't
overrated.
want it.
Oh, my
What I
God.
find what I find interesting is they've been retailed by Asprey. They have the Asprey engraving here and the serial number here in the case back again.
Yeah.
That is all I found interesting.
Spray is something you need when you have body odor, and you don't
Asprey is a
manscape. You
famous
don't
London
manscape
jeweler.
properly. Then you need Asprey.
Well, and I just dropped the link for Mr. GMT, and you mentioned that. How is that not catfishing?
How was that good? That was like opportune timing.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look here at the Patek Philippe monopusher stainless steel split second. I think that it's a very interesting piece. Unusual shape, very high end movement, with one pusher here and then the central pusher here for the split second. I still call it a monopusher because that is a monopusher, by the way. That is not the monopusher. That is the pusher in the crown.
Whatever you say, boss.
Yeah, monopusher here, start, stop, and reset with this button. You don't have a reset button here. Okay, so Dodger says, hop on and sort them out. Trouble ahead. So let's have a look what else came here. I researched what guichet means because you and we've been discussing on your channel the Cartier Tank à Guichet, one of my favorites and one of Swiss's favorites, Tank à Guichet. That is the original one from the 1930s that went for how much? Come on. 406. There is also a reissue from 10 years ago. So tank à guichet. Guichet are those little openings. That is what is called in French guichet. So those are two guichets. Amazing amount of research. 1931 OG in
So what's the
white
French
gold.
word for opening? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Simple.
That's it. That's it.
There you go. What's the French word for window? Does anybody know?
Fenêtre.
Yeah. Because I think of those as window. Yeah, they're like windows to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think they are more meaning openings. So that is a watchmaking term, I would say, openings. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So 406,000. The re-edition in platinum, what you've seen here is in white gold. The platinum one that was made later went for a little bit over 100. 1 second, where is it? Here it is. That is platinum, basically a mint example. You can identify the platinum case by the ruby in the crown. So when it's red, then it's platinum.
The ruby cabochon.
Le rubis, that's called. Okay. Still going strong.
The Jamie Opulence.
Calicidal. Actually, that is not the Jamie Opulence because Jamie Opulence has the later model. That is the one with the crown guards here, which I find but ugly. My friend Russ has one of them. By the way, not my friend anymore, probably after that comment. But he knows my beef with crown guards, and I'm not a fan of that. What is the point of crown guards on an elegant watch?
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Yeah. The cloisonnée looks good.
Yeah,
Not the crown
it's okay.
guards.
I don't like the font. the script of the writing on the dial, just like a
If
little
you don't like
too.
that, how do you like the engraving here on the top?
I don't like the engraving either. Well, it's not.
Okay, so OC is muted.
Yep.
I know
I know it's.
that.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like
Hmm.
anything.
I know Russ was telling me the story, how special it was for him to receive this watch. Very emotional story. I think it has been already published, and it was a very important, very emotional moment. However, I'm not a fan of those crown guards, to be honest. But he holds it in high regard, and quite unusual here, a complete world map. Because at the moment you only have the Asian sector on the available Khaleesi, Closenedal. So here you have the entire world.
Jonathan, I'm going to jump off now. Let you continue the rest of the show without me. But thanks so much for having me on. Have a great rest of your evening, guys. Give the show a big thumbs up and give Jonathan your appreciation in the chat for running these streams. Peace out, guys.
Thanks a lot for trying to help.
Thanks for nothing.
Okay.
That's right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, see ya. Goodbye.
Bye. Scratchy is saying hello. CB is Jonathan, what do you think of the Andreas Strehler Papillon d'Or sold on the auction? I think that we just discussed that. I'm I'm a little bit divided between craftsmanship and visuals. So one second, let's see if there is another Andreas Strehler, which I doubt. Andreas Strehler, okay. Oh no, Papillon d'Or. That is something different. Okay. To be honest, I know nothing about the watch, so I can just give you a live impression what I think of it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I see here anglage on the spokes, very elaborate finishing. I think the visuals are really good, really nice. Some effort here. Personally, I think that that papillon, that is here the butterfly, is a little bit unnecessary. I would guess that this is a men's watch, so why having a butterfly, which gives it a very female touch? Now, 41 millimeters. I would guess that this is targeted more to ladies. And let's have a look at the case back. So here you can see. So yeah, you can see here an oversized regulator hand. So those regulator hands, they shorten and elongate the length of the hairspring, and therefore regulate the performance of the watch. Personally, I find that too big, too dramatic. I would rather have an engraved balance cock. But here, the movement finishing is top notch. In all honesty, I don't really get the price of 114,000 Swiss francs. Good for Andreas Strehler or for the Andreas Strehler watch community. I'm a little bit surprised about the high price. Do you know other watches with more internal angles? I know it is Romain Gauthier and also Recep. Have a look at at those wheels, for example. You don't only have internal angles. You have here the not sharp angles. So I would guess that Recep does more in internal angles, and also Romain Gauthier. It's visually very attractive, no doubt about that. And there are there are plenty, and they are deep and they are nice. And yeah, that's how I feel. Yet Thomas Burnett knows Andreas Strehler pretty well. I really haven't been into Andreas Strehler yet, but I will certainly have a deeper look into that I agree with you. The inward angles here on those spokes are really extraordinary. So yeah. So CB, I think Andreas Strehler is one of the underrated geniuses of the watchmaking industry. He has done so much work developing movement for other brands. A true innovator. Thomas, give me a hint for whom he developed watches. That would be interesting for me. And can anybody from you tell me if this papillon butterfly watch is targeted to females, or why the butterfly is here the prominent motive? Ah, he was working for Lange? I didn't know that. Grönefeld, okay. Interesting. Okay. Thank you very much for your input. Feel free to hop on to if you have further information about Andreas Strehler. I'm always happy to learn. So Gold, CB and Thomas, do you think that 120,000 Swiss francs is appropriate? How much did this particular watch go for usually when it retailed? That would be interesting to know. So how much did he sell it he originally for? Beaver claims his watch has 500 internal angles. I think it's 380, but we can find that out. One second. Beaver watch, because he says it on the rotor. Let's go to Beaver watches. Refuse cookies. Stories press. Concept watches. Carillon tourbillon. Okay, let's have a look here. Minute repeater, Carillon, on the minute repeater tourbillon. So let's have a look here at the movement. Can't click on it. Damn it. Okay, try to find a monochrome picture. Buy new is 160, says CB. Thank you very much for the info. So, okay. Beware monochrome watches. Let's have a look here. So let's have a look at the movement where it says 196, it says here. 196. Angle, rentre, whatever. Beautiful inboard angles, by the way. Okay. So I know that there is a Romain Gauthier watch which has 300. 1 second. Romain Gauthier watches. So let's try it on. Okay. Settings, save. Okay, collections, collection. I think it's micro rotor skeleton. Here, have a look at that part here. Is it micro rotor skeleton? I hope so. Otherwise, I'm getting eggs on my face. Request price. I'm not sure if it's that one. Collections, Freedom Collection, Logical Own, Micro Rotor, Skeleton. I think it's that one. Natural titanium, black titanium. You can see plenty of internal inward angles, and also on the movement. You see here those spokes are all inward angles, internal angles, sharp ones, even to the smallest gears here. So I was hearing that it's over 300, and I think Rexepi is 130. In my opinion, it's not only about the amount. It's not the amount, but the depth, and that is the thing that really makes Rexepi stand out. But just have a look at this part here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I think I made my point. I rest my case. So that is extraordinary. Romain Gauthier is crazy. He employs one woman who makes all those decorations, all those angles. She's highly specialized, and she does those incredible parts. Okay, so now Dodger requested that I'm doing a tangent. Guys, I'm not getting done what I really wanted to do, but let's all for the Dodger. Simon Brett watches. Dodger wants to talk about Simon Brett, who is the future legend, and he's not wrong. So first of all, Simon Brett is a little bit different than, for example, Romain Gauthier, because Simon Brett is not a watchmaker. He's a kind of project manager, was very successful, did amazing work for Max Büsser. He has a deep knowledge in the industry, and he introduced a spectacular piece, which is the Chronomètre Artisan, and got the watch world on fire because of one element that has not been seen before, and those are those concave. The watch brands, the artisans. Let's have a look here. So he's mentioning his friends. So it's basically Simon Brett and friends. And his friends are doing those that detail work. Now the watches. He used to have better pictures on his webpage. Chronomètre Artisan. Okay, so what is special about the Chronomètre Artisan? What caught me is the dial. It has a very special engraving. Here it looks a little bit simpler than it used to be on the first one. So I think he toned down the complexity of the engraving, because as far as I know, the lady who made the first dials, she's not accepting orders anymore. So the dial of the first one was really striking. That is still striking, but not as striking as the others, because it looked like those little pieces were stacked over each other. That was spectacular. Now, what really made this watch stand out is all those domed inward domed screw heads and those domed surfaces that you can see all over the place. Those are super difficult to make. Usually, when somebody is polishing a screw head, this is plain and flat. And those inward domed screw heads have not been seen before. I haven't seen them. He's doing them plenty, a friend of his, and he's on the record that each single screw head takes him over an hour to finish like that. Only the finishing. I don't think that he's talking about the making, the grinding of those surfaces. Only to polish one to perfection takes him over an hour. Now you see here the complex engraving on the dial, still very nicely done. The movement is extraordinary. What I really liked is here that little internal angle, inward angle on the hour hand, which is just an extra touch. You can also see here the beveled spokes that he's also doing here with inward angles, deep anglage, beveled anglage, rounded anglage, which is also fantastic. CB says he had to make a special tool to polish the screws. Yes, with traditional tools you can't do that. Thomas Burnett met Simon Brett in person. He says he's very talented. He started working for Jean-François Moyon, working for Harry Winston, Urban Jürgensen, Max Büsser and friends, and HYT, among others. He's definitely one to keep an eye on. So far, he showed what his projects can do with a three-hander watch, and I hope that he very soon shows us some complications. Now let's have a look at the movement here. What I really liked on Simon Brett's watch is here the toothing, which is called wolf's teeth. So those are not the traditional teeth that you see here. Double barrel mainspring and connected with those wolf teeth toothing. That springy thing here is the click mechanism for the manual winding. He put a lot of effort to make that perfect. You can also see here the rounding outside. That is super complex to make that balance wheel bridge in those shaped, because to polish them down to perfection is a very difficult job, very elaborate. Okay, so I think we are done. John, can you after talk about the egg again? No, not gonna do that. I don't want to lose the users, the viewers here. Okay, let's go back to Phillips if no one else has a question. Yes, Simon Brett told me he's hoping to bring out a new movement in 2026. Thomas Burnett was talking to him, and that is the info that he put out. Okay, let's go back. Andreas Strehler. We go back to the Phillips auction. Because I've been spending so much time, I'm just showing you one of my darlings, which also did a pretty good result in my opinion. So here, that is something that I don't understand. For example, you all know that I'm a big Lange fan. So this is the Lange one in steel, Lange 1 in steel, which is very rare. I know that, but apparently that watch was born with a white dial, then was converted by Lange with a blue dial. I know that Lange ones with blue dials are very hyped, very high in demand. It is also mentioned here. It has a fancy reference number 101026. Usually the steel one was 027. So nobody really knows what the X means here in the certificate. That is an oddball. Is that oddball worth 330,000 Swiss francs? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that is going a little bit too far. So one watch that called my attention, and that was also the teaser here in the for the show, is the Ferdinand Berthoud. Angie is saying, great talk, Higgins. What 3 brands would you recommend before going independent? Oh, that is a difficult question. Before going independent. Okay, Piroka Swiss says the white dial was also provided with the watch. Okay, thank you very much. I did not see that. What 3 watches I would recommend before going independent? That very much depends on which level of collecting you are. I mean, if you're starting, I think Philippe Dufour's recommendation to start with Nomos is a good one. I would recommend starting with a Neomatic, the automatic movement. So, in my opinion, Nomos, for example, is a good start. Most of us started their journey with Seiko or with Rolex at some point, and I think um, every collector must have a Rolex in his collection. Maybe he's going to sell it sooner than later, but people always come back to Rolex. I personally do that as well. So, um, other brands that I recommend before going independent, I think Lange is as good as you can get in terms of being embedded in a big conglomerate, but having all details of an independent brands. We very often have the discussion, who's gonna service my watch after 30 years when it comes to independent watches, and I really love to discuss those topics with independent watchmakers. I just put out the invitation for Bernhard Lederer because he kindly offered to be my guest here on the show. And one of the questions that I'm going to ask him is, um, or I'm going to tell him that many of the collectors ask about future servicing, supply of spare parts. I think that is a very valid point. With Lange, you can be pretty sure that even after many years, you're getting the spare parts and your watch repaired and serviced. So I think that is a good thing. I disagree with Piroka with Omega. I think Omega priced themselves out of the market unless you're buying gray market. JLC, I agree with Swiss JLC. The problem with JLC is if you buy new, you're losing your shirt in terms of resale value, and that can keep off people from collecting. Not everybody is as savvy, as brave as Swiss, who is checking for secondhand gray market JLCs for half price. That is a sensible thing to do, but you must know what you want, and you're basically on your own when you're trying to find those deals. So yeah, my recommendation, Nomos, Lange. Now those are two German brands, not by coincidence, just because I think they're worth it. Rolex I mentioned, Holy Trinity. I think AP, what AP does, their movement finishing and everything. I don't. I can't recommend AP to anybody with good conscience, to be honest. Patek Philippe is always a safe bet, but accessibility is very difficult. So to get one of those is a tough one. Vintage Omegas, yeah, but vintage Omegas, is that something for a collector? He said before going independent, so we assume that he's already experienced. So that is a good one because vintage Omegas have a very good quality in their movements. So I think those are valid points. If you have other brands, then just type them in the comments. Okay. So you know that one of my darlings is Ferdinand Berthoud. And when I bought my Lange with the fusee and chain, I was always fascinated and looking for Ferdinand Berthoud. In all honesty, uh, if there is not one characteristics, I would have gone Ferdinand Berthoud instead of Lange, and I'm the Lange guy. The biggest downer on this watch is the case size. This watch is 44 millimeters wide. It has that ugly octagonal case shape, which they later then smoothened down. They also offered a round case, but the 4 millimeters is for me a deal breaker. The watch is simply too big and too thick with 14 millimeters. My Lange is 42 millimeters and 12 millimeters thick, and that is on the brink of being too big. So I love the approach of watchmaking that they have. The movement is absolutely gorgeous. It's nicer, it's more beautiful than my Lange movement. I have no problems saying that. Particularly the fusee and chain is a piece of art. It's just wonderful and better than on my Lange. Hodinky in the early days when they were good, they made a very good article about Ferdinand Berthoud, the first watches and the fine details. And I just wanted to share some of the photography, which is just spectacular. Here you can see the fusee and chain on top, the tourbillon on the bottom. You can see here the side view. Ferdinand Berthoud has a little window where you can see the chain here being rolled over the fusee. I'm going to show you a little bit later. No, that is the mainspring barrel. Excuse me. I'm not sure. I think there are two windows. Once again, is there one window, two windows? Okay. So many people don't understand the fusee and chain because they say, "What's the big deal of connecting those two elements with a chain? It's like a bicycle chain." No, it's not. It is the chain is not only used for connecting those two elements. The one on the right is the mainspring barrel. The one on the left is the cone, and that is the fusee. And you can see that this is a cone shape. This is not constant. And why is the shape like that? I was telling it a thousand times. The shape is to level out the differences in this mainspring torque. A mainspring, when it's wound fully, has a higher torque than when it's almost ran down. To level those differences out, you roll that chain here on that fusee, on that cone, and the torque then as at the escapement is always constant. So Swiss is asking for a spanking. Very good. So, but this is not only a hollow cone. There is a differential inside, so it's highly complex. I like how they designed the fusee. I like how it's displayed in the movement. It's much nicer done than in my Lange. Admittedly, I have no problems saying that. They also have a lot of inward angles here, sharp inward angles on the movement finishing. My Lange only has a handful of them. The tourbillon is gorgeous. There is absolutely nothing to moan about it. And one here you can see the assembly of the chain, for example. Here you can see the fusee, the cone shape. That is an old marine chronometer. Here you can see the complexity of the movement. And this is the power reserve indicator. That is so super complex that it's almost ridiculous. So this little wheel is connected to the mainspring barrel. That is then transferring the motion to that little ratchet wheel here, which is then winding up and down this cone. So that cone moves up and down depending on where this little ratchet stands. So the cone moves up and down. Then you have a ruby roller here who does then that motion inwards and out because you have that cone, and that lever is connected then to the power reserve display. How ridiculous is that? How gorgeous, how crazy, how funny is that? That they made that. As far as I know, that was part of the marine chronometers of Ferdinand Berthoud in the old age. That is just over the top engineering. It just shows how much love, how much passion went into that project to make this construction for a power reserve indicator. And you can see then at the end of the day, you can see the power reserve indicator from the case back. 1 second, I have a second article where they had a skeletonized. And you can see that little element then on the case back. Here, that is a Ferdinand Berthoud chronometer in a skeletonized version. Absolutely beautiful, like always. And now here you can see that is a reverse size. And here you can see the cone. Here you can see that little finger that touches with that ruby roller. So that is the power reserve indicator. And on the dial, then you can see how that works. 1 second. here, then this arm here is controlled by that finger, which then converts to another thingy that then moves that little hand. It's just outrageous, crazy engineering, and I love Ferdinand Berthoud for that. Okay, I just gave you a little hint why I love those watches. The only negative is the case size and the price, because those are retailing for around 240. I paid for my Lange 120. And yeah, the result here at the auction was 240,000 Swiss francs. So roughly 100 more than I paid for my Lange. So all okay for me. But this, I have, again, I will say it again. This is the better fuse and chain compared to my Lange. It's not the more the prettier one, because that octagonal case shape is not my thing. But for this kind of watchmaking, I would pay the price and get this. So that would be like Beatles getting back together, Mr. GMT and Piruka. Yeah, people are saying when Piruka would hop on, but apparently Piruka is busy. Patel Philippe, Higgy Baby, you have almost as many viewers as Tracks NYC. Not sure. I have 17 viewers, which is good. So Patel Philippe, Higgy lost OC to tickers. Wait, OC is with tickers? That will have consequences. So Moses and Marzipan, Thomas Burnett, Jonathan Quayle Higgins, what is your opinion on fusee and chains versus remontoir or constant force? Andreas Strehler told me that the remontoir is more reliable because it acts before the escapement. That is an interesting take, because as far as I know, the fusee and chain is also before the escapement. So that doesn't make sense to me. The fusee and chain is also before the force is put to the escapement. So I don't understand that point. To me, it's very easy. To me, the fusee and chain is just a thing of beauty, a thing of engineering, a thing of the old marine chronometers, and therefore I personally prefer the fusee and chain. While it's super complex, it's a bitch to service, but it's just so nice to look at. In my opinion, a remontoir is a little bit a simple solution. There is not really a lot of engineering necessary to achieve a remontoir. I think a fusee and chain is more complex. Are the results better? I don't know. I think they are comparable. I think yeah, Ferdinand Berthoud recently made a watch with a fusee and chain and a remontoir, but unfortunately without tourbillon, which is a big bummer. I would love to see a tourbillon together with a fusee and chain and a remontoir, but Ferdinand Berthoud didn't give us that. So Joseph D says OC doesn't like watch talk, he likes aesthetics and value retention talk. He certainly likes aesthetics, and he knows a lot about value retention. This is not what this channel is about, and I think OC is very polite and mostly keeping to his opinions about the watchmaking and visual. So, in my opinion, all's good. This Bert 2 has better design quality than the boring Richard Lange. That is your opinion, and that is all good. So Patel Philippe, do you have some final words? Because I'm about to close this stream. My voice is totally worn out, and I've been now 1 hour and 40 minutes. I also know that that Tickers was trying to stream, so I will I will leave the place or the stage to Tickers. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your support. Thanks to OC, who was brave enough to join me. I hope that you enjoyed my thoughts about those auctions, and yeah, hope to see you on the next one.